Well, g'day tubes, how's she going? So we're doing a bit of work here on this tractor again. We got some parts from Johnny. There's the new, yeah, I think that's the big one. I'll have to match these up, make sure they're all good. I think that's the new, double wrapped even, nice. The new big one, that's the one that failed, I believe. Let's see, yeah, this is definitely in bad shape. 62096307. That's the other one. Okay. That should be, yeah, 6307. So that's that guy. Okay. So there should be one in here that's even bigger yet then. Let's wrap this back up here. We've got a pile of cleaning to do here. There's maybe the other one. Hasn't even been opened yet. Well, maybe it has and someone retaped it. That's the big one that failed. What did we say this? 6209. 6209. Fantastic. That's definitely rolling a lot nicer than the other one, for sure. Don't know what happened to that. I don't know if the cage, something happened to the bearing cages in here, but I'll tell you what, there is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ball bearings somewhere. And they're super, super hard, so I highly doubt that they disintegrated. But, I don't know. And there's the other bearing. I guess it just comes like this. This is the smaller one that goes in this little housing. And, yep, that looks good. Number... Lots of numbers. TMB 305 305 CC3 CC3. Nice. And it's probably fine. This one, well, maybe a little wore out. We'll roll that one when we get it out. And then of course I got replace the clip there. I thought, well, you know what? I'm in there. Might as well do that. And then of course we got the new filter for the hydraulics. That's what we're gonna change as well. Yeah, that's him. Little can filter. I doubt there's balls in there, but there is a magnetic filter thing in the back of the tractor we got to dump out too. And I'm willing to bet that the balls potentially could have ended up in there. I kind of highly doubt they've gone through the system though, because they're pretty big. And if I remember when we get out here, I'll show you, there's only a couple of small holes where the oil kind of passes through and goes through here. So I kind of highly doubt that that's done that, but who knows? I don't know where they ended up, but... So I got to scrape all the gasket off, and there's actually the new gasket. And the seal, I got, of course, one in case the other side had a problem too, but so far it's okay. So there's two gaskets there as well. And yeah, but we got a lot of assembly to do here, but I got a pile of cleaning up here to do. I got to get this stuff all scraped off of here. And this thing doesn't want to kind of stay still either, right? So it's a lot of picky little work here to get under this stuff and not hurt the aluminum, right? So I'm going to probably have to put you in a fast speed thing here. And we'll get this cleaned up. And then it kind of looks to me like inside here they put some kind of, I don't know, like a sealant of some sort, or just to hold that seal in while it was being assembled. Kind of makes sense, but because this thing's going to be, I think, kind of a brute to get back together. That's the way I'm gonna have to drive things. But anyways, I'll get you in a fast time here, and we'll get this thing cleaned up. Alright, that's got the worst of that gasket off. Now I just got to get it outside with brake cleaner and just soak her down real good and blow her out with some air, and then hopefully she's good to go. Now on the other side, where the two little locator pins go, that kind of helps you hold your gasket and stuff. This was really tight going back on. I didn't really like the way the pins were fitting in the tractor side. One was really tight to go in, and I don't know. So I kind of took a piece of this stuff, rolled it up fairly small, and I stuck it in there, and then, you know, gave her some cleaning. I'm going to just give it a quick clean here and a quick test fit just to make sure it's looking all right. Well, that's not too bad, I guess. I'm going to give it one more clean with some stuff before we go putting her together. But yeah, this it's hard to show you here, but this one here has a little bit of a burr in it. I don't know if you can see that down in there. See that little burr mark thing? There's supposed to be a thing where it sits and rests on, but there's a little burr there, and that's just going to make it a nightmare to putting back together, I think. Like, they're supposed to be tight, but it's not, it should be nice, right? It shouldn't just kind of and not want to come back out. So I don't know if I can even feel it in here. Yeah, there's definitely some aluminum that shouldn't be where it is. I got a little bit of it popped out there, but I'm going to just roll this up tighter. And you turn it against the roll. And it's not a quick process by any means, but it'll kind of smooth things out a little bit, because you want it to be, you're going to be fighting enough stuff, I think, here when we go to put all this mechanism back together. So see, it's got a bit of damage. Ooh, did kind of damage in here. That's interesting. It's all kind of not smooth. Kind of wonder if I should have got a new, if they had them. This is all a bit chewed up here too from stuff, I guess, getting in there and clanging around, we'll say. So it got a little bit off of there. Still see a little bit in there though. Might help. I think that's better. Feels like it's actually hitting on the bottom there now. And that one's good. That's the way they should be. They're not meant to be like pressed in, these things. They're just kind of meant to stick in there so you can put the gasket on and then get things lined up, right? So yeah, she's a little tight in there, but she might not come out now. Darn it, I don't really want it to be super snug in there. Let's see here. Yeah, just have to do a bit more work to it, I guess. So we'll just give her one more file in here, and then probably if I give it a blast of stuff and then cleaned it out again, it would probably be fine, but we'll just go a little bit more here and that tighter. Roll it up, roll it up. So this little bearing here, that's for that other gear coming out. I think it's got to get driven into here. And then it would be in behind this gear, right? This gear sits kind of like right behind there, so. Let me get a little bit more out of there. Let me just give this a clean in here again and we'll try it once more. So I believe these covers are flippable. So you can see with this hole here, that's for the 3-point hitch little stabilizer bar to go in. You can see what it looks like, never touched. And you can see this one how elongated it is, right? So I think you could take it, so this would be, yeah, on this side of the tractor. I think you could take these and then flip them over too and put it on the other side, and then you'd have a new hole, right? So I'm not gonna bother with that, but now let's try this pin here again. Oh yeah, that's good there. Okay. And that's pretty good there. I think we're good. Okay. So now inside here, like I say, I think they used some kind of sealant stuff in there. And I got some of it scraped out, but I didn't get all of it scraped out. Because this potentially might mess up where the seal sits. It's really hard packed stuff, and I can't get my scraper down in there because it's just too far down in. But maybe if I just keep filing at it or something, it might be alright. It's alright on this one side. I guess I didn't put any sealant there. That's probably what that is. Anyways, I'll get this finished cleaning up here, and then we'll start putting parts in it, hopefully. Alright, I think we're mostly good to go here. I don't think I'm going to need to lube these up to go in, but it might not be a bad idea. Just a little bit of that sheep grease, you know. Alright, so this one, I'm trying to remember if it stayed on this side. I think it came off. I don't remember. It's too long ago. And I'm going to try my seal driver kit here. Those are probably normally just pressed in at the dealership. And we'll just go real gentle with it because it shouldn't take a whole lot to get it in there. I'm just going to go with the small hammer, I think, to start. See what we can do here. It's not quite straightish. Sounds like that drove home. That's good. Bearings there. Now we need that seal, which we've got here. CH14665. And of course I put my knife away. And this went upside down like this. Now I definitely have to find the right driver for it. That's pretty darn close. The next bigger one. Oop, which way am I going? The next bigger one would be there, and I think that might be, well, it'll get her started for us anyways in there. Now, probably give that a little lube too, just to help it. They seem to glue it in, but I don't know. Alright, the seal that was leaking. Let me try this one, I think. You know what, I better spray the seal too a little bit. Okay, seal. Better drive in nice. Uh-oh. I'm gonna switch to that bigger one just till we get her started anyways. This is a seal bearing race driving kit. It's so funny, when the fire trucks go by, it freaks the coyotes out. Okay, that's going in. Gotta go some more yet though. So we'll have to, let's see if we can get any more of this guy. That's body there. It's gotta go a little more yet though. Back to this guy. I don't even know if you guys can, I guess you can see. Let's zoom in a little bit. There. I think that's pretty good. I think we're locked in. Triple seal on actually 4 seals. There's 3 little lips and then the top one. Really don't want you messing her up, I guess. Okay, so that's in. Now we got to work on the other side here. Let's zoom you back out again here. Okay, so these can go over there. This guy. Now I'm not sure how I'm going to manage. What the heck? Why is that on there so tight? Ugh. How the heck do we do this now? So we're gonna lube up this guy real good. I didn't really clean up this shaft too well. But it's not terrible bad really. Because we got to drive the other bearing, I think, in here. As it sits like that. That seal's in there. This looks good. It didn't roll nothing. Going that way, it's kind of almost impossible to roll that. But a little chunky feeling down there. Maybe I should have cleaned that a little more. Not chunky, but it's kind of rough. It's better. A little bit over here though. Amazing these seals last as long as they do. That's a lot of rubbing on the shafts there all the time, and it's kind of crazy how long they do last. Okay, that feels better. A little bit down here though, I don't know. Might have been from when I was that hand with the air hammer there, but it's not that bad. It's just a little surface scratch. Gone. Alright. Now, I never really checked. Yeah, that should be all fine in there. Maybe I'll just give this a quick little 600 grit sanding here. Should be on this surface here. really too bad, actually. Now this is a collar that's on here, and when I was looking at the diagram, I'm like, oh man, what is that piece? It seems like an extra piece. I don't remember taking that one off. Well, this is a little collar that you can replace there, I guess. So hopefully it's not buggered up. This is gonna have to all come apart again then. I think it's gonna be fine, but I guess we shall see. Okay, so the big barreling. We need the big barreling, which is in a smaller box, as funny as that is. Yeah, it's not too bad. That'll just help slide her down a little better. And we're going to need a gigantic, put the numbers out so it's easier to read too when you take it apart next time. Ooh. Ooh. How am I going to do that? This is going to be the hard part. I don't think I want to hammer it in like that because I'm going to end up pushing that seal out potentially again. Oh, but I'm going to need some kind of really long pipe. Okay, so I think I got to put this in this part first. So back to this guy here, but then I got to get it pushed onto that, another one going up. Got to get it pushed onto that spindle after too, right? Okay. That's too small, probably the biggest one. Yeah, that might work. I hope this is right. No, there's no real instructions. It's got to go through this way, and then this goes in here. But I'm gonna, there they are. Yep, 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 yep. Freaks them out, it's funny. There's a lot of them back there, I know that. Yodies. Still yipping. Wakes them up, I guess. Ooh. It's not going exactly as I wanted it to. Okay, you guys are noisy. Let's see if I can get this back out of here again, just gently. Oh boy. How to. It's not really in that hard yet, so. I just didn't like the way that was kind of going there. Oh, there we go. She fell right into place. Sounded like a good solid smush. Smush. Okay, put that guy off the side. We'll bring this guy back in. And this might be the interesting part here. Trying to get this back in because I don't have like the big cone. The big, tall, long driver. So I might have to figure out some kind of pipe to go down and push. Unless it's not that bad, and we can just it's coming out of the I have big sockets here, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. This was the part I had a bit of anxiety about. I've got a fairly big pipe here. Miles too big. I got a chunk of axle stub here. Gotta move you a bit. And that's gonna hit in the center, but okay, I'm not particularly liking that. How else am I gonna do this? Maybe if I do it this way. Oh, the whole thing just moved there. It's darn near there. I think that's it. Except the case kind of moved a little bit on me. How do I get that back up now? We want to tap on that, but sounds pretty solid there. I think. I think that'll find its center once we tighten her down. Okay. Now, if you guys were looking in the right spot, gee, sorry, mostly had you there. Okay, so that's where this other bearing has to go. Now we got to put on the gear. Nope, spacer. Spacer. The gear sits on. Yeah. Now this is keyed a certain way too. And then we need that new clip. Get rid of some of this garbage. That's the other bearing that goes on there. Now I don't know whether it'd be better to put it in the other side. I'll have to go look at that. But anyways. The clip. Kind of wonder if my tripod sort of slunked itself down there. That was kind of weird. Because it wasn't really looking in the right spot, was it? Holy smokes. Thought I broke it already. That's in the groove. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to get this back together. Now, this side here, I could probably go over it with the brake cleaner, just rub it once more. Even though the stuff is really good for it's actually really good for just going on greasy, but I'll give her a little wipe here. because I'm going to use that stuff, I think, too, in here. And I've already cleaned out the other side and cleaned out all the threads, all the holes. Should be all good there. I'm just wondering if it'd be easier to drive the bearing on the other side or this side. Might be easier to get the shaft to go in and then try not to. I'll probably have to do that. Okay, so where's my good stuff? Look at my toolbox here. There she be. A good old Loctite. And this stuff, you can use it fairly sparingly. And I could honestly probably just put it together with just this, without the gasket. This stuff's freaking amazing. You guys have seen me use this a few times before. It's the gasket sealant, flange sealant stuff. Works good. And somehow it doesn't, it's anaerobic. So it doesn't dry when there's oxygen. I don't know how it doesn't dry in there, but it has to be no oxygen and then it actually will cure. Pretty cool stuff. And we'll do the other side and we'll stick the gasket on the other side. And we're gonna, hopefully the same video here, maybe on the next video, dump the fluid out too and then replace all that and that filter under there and take that screen off. Yeah, we'll do that on another video, I think, because this is going to take a few minutes to even get this back together here and back on the feller. I'm just got a bit of anxiety too about getting this all back on here again. Alright, that should do that. And I'm going to have to go out and drive this other bearing, I guess, too. I think it'd be easier to get it on that side there. So, that is... should be this guy. Should be fitting on there. Yeah, okay. It's about the right size there, so we'll see if we can mess this one up. Okay, let's see here. Brought the stuff for the gasket after too. Got this fairly clean out here. There's a bit of damage in there though. I don't know. Not really liking that too much. Oh, I didn't bring my spray. Okay, so that should be good. I'm pretty sure this come out with the tractor, if I remember right. Ooh, that's going in pretty hard. I'm not too sure I like that. Well, and there she goes. It's just very picky, I guess. Okay, well, that's good. This gear feels good still, even though it wasn't probably running too true on it. It's kind of surprising, but... and those, I don't know. It's going to get some gear oil fairly quick in here, but I'll give her maybe just a little shot in there. I don't think that's going to do any damage to the gear oil and the hydraulic oil. Alright, we got to goop up this side now. And away we go. Okay, I guess we can put the gasket to it now too. It's a good way to ship the gasket too, because then it's all protected, right? Very nice. Okay, that should be looks like about the same color, doesn't it? Okay, now I'm ready for the anxiety. Oh boy, here we go. Give this a little spray. Just a little spray. Hopefully she all fits together pretty good. Hopefully. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. Hopefully everything's all good here. I'm just going to give these a sprayish. This is going to be a nightmare. Trying to get it all lined up here again, right? Yeah, fall off glasses. Oh man, what did I get into here? I don't want to just get in there and start hammering the crap out of stuff. But this is going to be a fun one, I think. I'm trying to get the case to line up. This is gonna be fun. And you gotta hold all this weight while you're trying to do that too, right? Kinda thought it might have slipped on, not too bad, but... Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Definitely think I've got it right here. So you can't put this bearing's got to be in this housing. This would be too much of a nightmare to try to line up and drive in. So I think I got things right here, but it's just getting this started. Holy smokes, how would they have done this in factory? It's probably laying up on its end too, which would make it a lot easier. Well, can't see anything either, right? Which really doesn't help much. But it's definitely this guy here that's giving me problems, and then it'll be this guy here that'll give me problems. And I don't think you want to smash on the case on the outside here on this one too much. Pretty sure you wouldn't use the bolts to draw it in, because I don't think that would be a good idea. I don't think the bolts would be long enough anyways. Alright, I think I'm going to try it the other way. I got this mostly to come back out again by just fiddling with it. I kind of wonder, because it was stuck in the other side. I think it's supposed to be tight in there, and maybe not super tight on this side. There. Still think it's going to be a nightmare to... oh, interesting. I think it's still going to be a nightmare to get that lined up, but I'm going to go hammer this in the other side here, and then we'll try again. Alright, let's try this brute again here. Might be easier that way, I don't know. Probably still going to fight me regardless. We're closer. It's hanging on its own. Guess it's got to go down a little bit there, but I think it's those stupid pins holding me up too. I can't see in there now. It'll be this guy here probably holding this up. Fun. It looks like it's pretty much lined up though. Well, that's good. But it's not going in. Well, I don't really think I want to try closing it with the bolts. Maybe that's what I gotta do. I'm gonna put a bit of pressure to it just to see if it moves. Now I gotta remember these long gigantic bolts are at the back. It wasn't, like I say, we kind of cleaned them out a bit, but the holes are all lining up, so that's good. That means everything should be straight. Should be straight. Maybe this will just start sucking it in. I don't know. I have some reservation-y thoughts about that, but I gotta try to get this other shaft inside this other bearing now. You know what? I think it's sort of working. It's not jamming Better get some started back here too, I guess. Wouldn't want to do this with an impact, that's for sure. And these two giant long ones go at the back. And I do have a sheet here with specs, torque specs. I really do think some of this is these stupid pins, these dowel pins, alignment pins. I don't know, that one seemed to have a fairly decent burr in it, and maybe it was like that from factory. I mean, who knows? We're still turning, yeah, we're good there. Sounds kind of funny though, but smash! It's actually coming together. It's not too bad. I'll get my sheet there and we'll torque these on too. Just get them snuggish. Just so the goop starts coming through. I'm guessing probably 20 foot-pounds maybe? Is that too much? I don't think it would be any more than that. And we have zero movement now. That's good. And a good bearing in there now, and a new seal, and it wasn't terrible bad, but let me go grab my torque wrench and the spec. Wow, they're wanting these to 65. It seems like a lot to me, but we'll keep them happy, I guess. Too bad all the paint's chipping off the bolts here. Guess they get painted after. $65 seems like an awful lot to me. Yeah, I actually got it at 64. Oh boy, I don't know. It's only aluminum, right? I'm just gonna back this off a bit. I'm just gonna go right to 30. See what we're feeling right now. So we're past 30, so let's go to 40. We're past 40. Okay, so we'll go to 50. Oh man, I don't know. I might just leave them at 50. That's putting a lot of strain on those little threads in there. I don't like the feel of that, really. It doesn't feel like it's tightening, it feels like it's stripping. I mean, it's tight, but boy, I don't know. I'm not liking the feel of that. To be 100% honest, because it's aluminum, right? And there's not a lot of strength in aluminum. Oh, those are way more than tight enough. I'm gonna leave them there. Screw it. Yeah, you know what? I don't like that. It doesn't feel like. Let's take it back a little bit. 65, boy. I don't know. That seems. That's like 45 there. Spinning good. Yeah, I don't trust the aluminum, honestly. Try it at 50 here again. That just seems way too tight. I don't know. If it was steel, yeah, okay. That one's good. They're all 50 anyways. Yeah, I don't want to tighten that one too much anymore. Because to change the rest of this would really suck. I'm gonna take all this apart again. Oh man, I don't think I'd want to do that. Actually, I might buy this whole entire thing, maybe. You'd unbolt it in here more. There's bolts that actually bolt it to the case of the tractor, and you'd probably pull that whole thing off and replace this whole thing. I got these little bolts here to 50. I feel safe there, but anymore, this one down here, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. Went to 50. I think 50's lots. It's not like you're doing preload on any bearings or anything in there. That should be fine. All right, well, that's that. I guess we got to put on the wheel now. I'm going to clean it up maybe a bit too, because it's kind of grimy in there. And have to get a punch to get it lined up, and then we can get the bolts in and bap them on super tight. Well, this thing did leak a fair bit of oil. It's good to get it cleaned up, I guess. Should just pressure wash this, but I don't have a pressure washer here, and I don't have really water right here, so I'll just try to clean some of the muck off. Eventually it'll just basically dry up and fall off. And it might keep the wheel from rusting. Maybe. And you won't even see in here anyway, because this is the inside. The next time I get the pressure washer out, I'll maybe give her a treatment. A lot of miles on these tires, let me tell you, because I had them on the other tractor. So that's pretty good, I guess. I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right, let's get just flipped around. We'll see if we can get this thing back in here. All right, this is never super fun. So you got to get it lined up with the holes. Definitely too high. Go down a little bit with the tractor. Ooh, that's probably not there, bud. This is kind of sometimes helpful with two people, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, there's probably too much weight in these things. Probably why the bearing went out, but they give you holes for putting in weights on these things, right? So I don't really know if we can say that it was the weight's fault. Oh, I'd actually have to go up a bit. And of course we're miles off. Actually, not too far there. Start one. Yes, we can. Which means we can maybe start the other ones. Yeah. I don't know what the torque should be on these things. I'm just going to use my gun. Just juicer. Make sure this electric will put up enough. Okay, there we go. Didn't really need the punch. That is awesome. All right, I'm gonna just start with number 2 on this. Just jack her up a little bit more. Oh, the bearing's no good. Look at it. See that bearing again? Oh, that bearing's junk. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta tighten it first. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm gonna go to 3 now. Jesus. That's more than enough. That thing just has way too much power. All right. I think that part's good. Now we just got to do the oil, and I'm not going to do it right now. We're going to do that on the next video. So we got her back together. And I should actually give it a roll here too, maybe. Oh yeah, that's good. Rub it on the board. Good. All right. But anyways, the ground's a little wet here right now. I really don't want to be crawling around on it, so I might let her dry up for a bit and then we'll do this other video. But basically what we got to do back here now, so we can let that down. It's good to get her back on her feet again. So back in here, there's a little cover we got to take off. This guy here. And that'll, there's a little screen in there. I'm kind of curious to see what's got sucked to it because there's real long magnets in there. And I think there's another drain under here somewhere. We'll drain out, we'll get under here. And then the filter's back of here too. Might be fun getting that off because I can't honestly 100% remember if I've done this tractor yet. Might still be original. I think that's original oil in there. These tractors seem to come with a red tinge to their oil, and the new stuff will be just kind of clear maple syrup brownish color kind of stuff, right? So, but anyways, there we go. I'm out of breath. I'm out of shape. Not good. But anyways, till next time, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later, and you guys have a good one. She's coming back. That's good. Now this side will probably go. You watch. Actually, I probably should have checked that, but anyways, if she goes, starts leaking, we'll tear it apart.